They called it family. I called it a lifetime of debt. When my sister vanished with $80,000 and my parents played innocent, I didn't just walk away. I wrote a clause that would destroy everything they thought they could escape. Now they're broke, exposed, and begging for mercy. And I'm just getting started. My name is Barbara Langston, and for most of my adult life, I was the reliable one, the fixer, the helper. The one who showed up even when no one else did. I was the one who paid the bills, who co-signed the loans, who smoothed over every mess my family created. They called it love. I called it responsibility. But I didn't realize until it was too late that the price of being the responsible one is that everyone else gets to be reckless. It started with a contract. One I never thought I'd use. It was a rainy Tuesday when Amy, my best friend and junior legal counsel at the firm, brought it to me. She handed it over without a word, just a raised eyebrow and a knowing look. I unfolded it, slowly, a cosigner contract with liability disclaimers, asset protection clauses, and airtight accountability. I'd drawn it up myself years ago during a finance seminar for small law firms. At the time, it had been a theoretical exercise. Why now? Amy had asked. I didn't answer then. Not because I didn't know, but because admitting the truth out loud that I needed legal protection from my own family felt too much like betrayal. But they betrayed me first. It began with a phone call from my mother. Barbara. Darling, could you help Lily out just this once? Just this once. A phrase I'd come to resent with every fiber of my being. Lily, my younger sister, is the golden child, artist, dreamer, professional disaster. Every few months, it was something new: an unpaid loan, a bad boyfriend, a failed startup. This time, it was a business venture with her boyfriend Kevin. Tech adjacent, whatever that meant. They needed seed money. Fast, and the bank wouldn't approve them without a cosigner. Barbara, my father said on speakerphone. She's your sister. We've always been there for each other. Always, I thought. When exactly was that? I remembered paying my dad's hospital bills when he had heart surgery. I remembered giving up grad school to help pay off Lily's tuition when she got into that expensive art institute in Florence. I remembered using my savings for Lily's first car when hers was repossessed. But I couldn't remember them ever returning the favor. Still, I agreed to a meeting. One last time, I told myself. We met at a cozy cafe. The kind Lily liked, full of fairy lights and overpriced herbal teas. She came in late, dressed in boho chic, Kevin trailing behind her in an expensive blazer that didn't quite fit. Barbara, Lily squealed, hugging me like nothing had ever gone wrong between us. Kevin was all smiles and fake charm. We appreciate you meeting us. It means the world. They laid out their pitch. Some social platform meets the e-commerce concept, half-baked and riddled with buzzwords. But I listened, nodded, and asked the hard questions. What's your revenue model? Kevin fumbled. Do you have an investor agreement in place? Lily changed the subject. At the end of it all, I put down my tea and said, if you want me to co-sign, we're doing it my way. That means a contract. Lily's smile faltered. Barbara, it's just family. Exactly, and family pays back their debts. Kevin shifted in his seat. Isn't that a bit cold? No, I said, sliding the papers across the table. It's smart. Back at work, I filed everything. Sealed copies. Amy reviewed it all. You sure you want to go through with this? She asked. No, I admitted. But I'm tired of being the fallback plan. 3 months passed. Lily's startup launched barely. The website was glitchy. The customer reviews weren't kind. Kevin went radio silent. Lily posted more selfies than product updates. Then came the late notices. Missed payments. My phone buzzed day and night. The bank started asking questions. That's when I activated the clause. The cosign contract gave me full access to audit their accounts, freeze credit lines, and contact the collection agency if needed. Within days, things got ugly. Lily called, furious. How could you go behind my back like this? I was calm. It's in the contract, Lily. You signed it. You're ruining everything. No, I'm protecting myself. For once. Then came the guilt campaign. My parents called, emailed, and even showed up at my office. You're being so harsh, my mother cried. You know Lily's not good with money. And I'm not good with being used, I said. But we're family. Yes, and family doesn't bankrupt each other. At least, they shouldn't. Things escalated quickly. The collection agency took over. My firm received notice of default on the loan. My parents tried to convince me to withdraw the complaint. Kevin sent threats thinly veiled as apologies. Lily posted dramatic rants online. And still, I stood my ground until one day, I opened an email from the bank. The clause had triggered asset recovery. Lily's accounts were frozen. Kevin's name was flagged for international debt. I sat in my office, staring out the window. The sun was setting. My phone buzzed again. It was a photo from my mother. Our last family vacation. Lily is in the center, glowing. My parents are smiling. I, off to the side, checkbook in hand, paying the hotel bill. A junior associate knocked. "Miss Langston, I need a favor. Could you co-sign the Miller account?" I glanced at the photo, then at him. "No, I don't co-sign anything anymore." He blinked. "It's just a formality." "So is paying your bills," I said, turning back to my computer. "Try that first." As he left, I picked up my phone. 16 missed calls from my parents. 7 emails from Lily. 1 message from Amy. "How does it feel?" I typed back, "Like freedom." This was just the beginning. The beginning of the end of being the fixer. The start of reclaiming my power. The story wasn't over yet, but for the first time, I was the one writing it. The photo still sat on my desk, the same one my mother had sent the last family vacation. Lily in the center, my parents on either side, grinning like they had something to be proud of. Me in the corner, not smiling, not laughing, just quietly paying the hotel bill. That photo captured a lifetime of dynamics. Lily the beloved, our parents the enablers, and I the bank, the moment the collection agency activated the asset recovery clause. The silence broke like a dam. My phone buzzed nonstop. Lily's number, my mother's. Even my father, who rarely involved himself unless it was about a broken faucet or a meatloaf recipe. I ignored them all. I didn't owe them explanations anymore. That same afternoon, my office door opened without a knock. My mother stepped in like she still had the right. Her mascara was smudged, her lips trembling, but her pearls were perfect. Her heels unscuffed. "They're threatening to put a lien on our house," she said, collapsing into the chair across from me. "Your childhood home, Barbara." I didn't look up from my screen. "You mean the one you remortgaged to pay for Lily's art school?" She blinked. That was different. She had potential. And I didn't. Silence. "Then, we borrowed from your college fund because we thought you'd get scholarships. You always got by." "Borrowing implies repayment," I said, pulling up the spreadsheet. "Would you like to see the exact amount, with interest?" "Your father can't sleep. He keeps checking our accounts. He thinks he missed something. Like I did when I emptied my savings for his surgery." I finally looked up. That was 10 years ago. Funny how no one lost sleep then. She pulled out a handkerchief, ivory silk, embroidered, likely another Lily gift, bought with someone else's credit. "Lily's scared. Her visa might be revoked. Kevin's business deals are collapsing. Everything's falling apart." "I didn't do that," I said, returning to my emails. "Consequences did. And contracts." A ping from my phone. A text from Lily. "Mom's crying because of you. You're so controlling. You always need to win. Happy now." I flipped the phone screen toward my mother. "She sends her regards." My mother exhaled slowly, trembling. "You're stronger, Barbara. You've always been the strong one." I leaned back in my chair, that familiar ache building behind my eyes. "Tell me, what part of being used makes me strong? You were always so capable. You never needed as much help." "No, I needed help. You just never gave it." My phone buzzed again. "Video call, Lily," I answered, and put it on speaker. "You evil witch," she yelled. "Mom just called me crying. You're tearing this family apart. I'm enforcing a legal contract. This is family, Barbara." "Exactly," I said, calmly. "And what do families do? Let's see, take money. Expect silence, use guilt like currency. You trained me well." I saw Kevin pacing behind her, phone to his ear, stressed. "Visa issues?" I asked, with mock concern. Lily's face changed. "How did you—" "It's amazing what happens when your name's tied to an $80,000 international debt." My mother gasped. "You didn't." "I didn't do anything. The debt did. The fraud did, and you helped them." "Please," my mother whispered, "we can fix this." "No, you can pay for this. I'm done fixing things for you. I didn't raise you to be this heartless. You didn't raise me at all. You raised Lily. I raised myself. We'll lose everything." "You'll lose everything," I corrected, "because you put it all at risk." The beach was quiet. Just me and the seagulls. I sat on the sand, holding the final notice from the collection agency. Debt resolved through asset sales. Case closed. And yet, nothing felt finished, not really. My phone buzzed. A message from Amy. They're in custody. Just saw the news. A smile crept onto my lips. Lily and Kevin, so full of plans and delusions, had tried to re-enter the country through Italy. It didn't work. Another buzz. A message from my mother. There, being held for questioning. Please help. I typed back. New phone. Who's this? The wind off the water caught the edge of the paper in my hand, tugging at it like it wanted to carry everything away. I let it go. Let it all go then. A shadow fell across my screen. My father stood there, wearing a suit that now looked too big for him. He moved slowly, like gravity had grown heavier on just his shoulders. I'm not here to ask for anything, he said, sitting beside me in the sand. I'm here to say, you were right. I didn't speak. He continued. We failed. You, your mother and I, we let Lily drain you dry. We didn't protect you. We didn't parent you. I folded my arms. Took you long enough. He pulled an envelope from his jacket. We found this in Lily's old room. Addressed to you. Dated the day before the wedding. I opened it slowly. It was a note, in Lily's handwriting. Dear Elle, by the time you read this, we'll be gone. Thanks for being such a reliable ATM all these years. Don't worry, Mom and Dad will guilt you into fixing this, too. They always do. Love, Lily. I swallowed hard, not because it hurt, but because it didn't. Not anymore. She never saw you as a sister, my dad said softly. And we didn't treat you like a daughter, just like a solution. I looked at the waves. Now we see what we lost because of what we did. My phone buzzed. A video call from Amy. You might want to answer that, my father said, standing. I picked up. Amy's face lit the screen. Barbara, federal charges have been filed. Your parents' statements sealed the case. I looked up at him. You testified. He nodded. We told the truth. Finally, Amy raised her glass from wherever she was in. Get this, Kevin's business partners are suing him. Civil and criminal. I ended the call and turned to my dad. You remember when I was 17, and I wanted to go to that summer coding camp? I asked. You said we couldn't afford it. He nodded slowly. Then Lily said she needed a new laptop for her photography class. And you bought her the best one on the market. I remember, he whispered. I wanted you to remember. Because I've carried every one of those moments like weights on my back. And now, I looked toward the house behind me. You bought it? He asked. I nodded. Below market value, the same house you lost. It's mine now. He gave a small, sad laugh. Full circle. No closure. He started to leave, but paused. I'm not asking you to forgive us. I just wanted you to know you were right. As he walked away, my phone buzzed again. A video call from Lily. The background was a detention center. I answered. They're charging us with fraud, she sobbed. Mom and Dad testified. How could they? How could you leave me with $80,000 in debt? I asked. How could you lie and smile and run and think there'd never be a reckoning? She shook her head. That's different. We're family. I held up the house keys. See this view? It's mine now, and you're never stepping foot inside it. I ended the call. Blocked the number. Amy appeared at the top of the stairs with 2 champagne glasses. Ready to celebrate your new home. I took the glass. To karma, she said. To contracts, I replied, and then added, to finally choose myself. We clinked our glasses as the sun dipped behind the horizon, lighting the beach in soft gold. No more family emergencies. No more emotional ransom, just freedom. Part 4 of the story is ready to begin. Here's the final chapter. Building on the emotional fallout, suspenseful consequences, and Barbara's journey to closure. I stood barefoot on the back deck of my beach house, a warm mug of tea in my hands, watching the tide roll in. It was quiet, serene, the kind of silence you only earn after a lifetime of noise. The chaos, the manipulation, the pleas and promises, it was all behind me now. Or so I thought. My phone buzzed. A private number. I almost didn't answer. But something inside me maybe still expected trouble. Barbara Whitmore? A man asked. Yes, this is Agent Reeves from the Department of Financial Crimes. We've received additional documents from your forwarded files. We'd like to schedule an in-person deposition regarding your family's fraud case. This includes testimony on the loan and details surrounding your sister's intent to defraud. I closed my eyes briefly, then answered, I'll be there. When I hung up, I saw Amy's message waiting. Big news. Kevin flipped. Of course, he did. Later that week, I sat in a sterile room across from federal agents, recounting every transaction, every ignored plea, every signed document. They listened carefully, eyes on mine, not missing a single detail. I told them everything: how I was coerced, emotionally blackmailed, manipulated for decades by people who wore their guilt like perfume. It wasn't just a loan, I said. It was my future, my peace, my entire identity. They took that, but I kept the receipts. They nodded, scribbled notes, thanked me, and promised updates. Before leaving, one of them paused at the door. You kept records most people never think to keep. You saved yourself. No, I replied. They saved me. Every lie, every demand, each one pushed me closer to clarity. Outside, Amy was waiting for her car. You done? She asked. I nodded, sliding into the seat. What now? I looked out the window. Now I live. The news broke a month later. Kevin had accepted a deal. He would testify against Lily and my parents in exchange for a lighter sentence. He claimed he was misled. I laughed when I read it. Kevin had misled himself straight into handcuffs. Lily's name trended online for days. A once trendy influencer, now dubbed #DebtQueen by the internet, her teary video apology failed to earn sympathy. My parents, meanwhile, faced public humiliation. Their social circle, the same ones who toasted them at Lily's wedding, turned cold. Poetic. One afternoon, I visited the family's house for the last time. It had sold. Finally. I walked through empty rooms, echoing with memories. The kitchen, where I had made birthday cakes, I never got. The hallway where my report cards were quietly slid into drawers, while Lily's paintings were framed. In my old room, I found it, a tiny box shoved under the floorboard. Childhood photos, letters I'd written and never sent. One was a birthday card for my mom. It said, "Thanks for always helping Lily chase her dreams. One day I hope to have one too." I folded the letter carefully, then tossed it into the fireplace on my way out. 6 months passed. I didn't hear from Lily, not directly, but her trial was public. She sat in court in tailored gray, her once vibrant social media smile replaced by the wide-eyed disbelief of someone watching their kingdom crumble. The prosecutor laid out everything. The fraudulent intent, the forged timelines, the emails she thought were deleted. My documents sealed her fate. Kevin's testimony buried her deeper. Guilty. The verdict was just a word, but it echoed like a life sentence. For them, for me, it was just closure. Now a year later, I sit on my deck again. My book, yes, I wrote RNS, coming out soon. The Cost of Family, a memoir by Barbara Whitmore. The pre-orders are strong. The interviews are booked. I told my story because no one else would. Because there are so many Barbaras out there, quietly holding families together, with borrowed time and broken backs. A delivery van pulled up. I went to the gate. Package for Barbara Whitmore. I signed for it. Inside, I found a small envelope. No return address. I opened it carefully. It was a check. $1. The memo read, "For everything you gave, from the daughter you never were." Number. Signature. But I knew the handwriting. I burned the check. Amy came by that evening. "To closure," she said, raising her glass. I clinked mine against hers. "No," I replied. "To the beginning."